I would say start small. It wasn't my first conversation I had about Jesus, but it definitely was the first one with a stranger. So start with, I would just advise you to start with your family members that may be lost, or your friends that may be lost, before you're, in the grocery store trying to share the gospel with the stranger. I think the comfortableness of just talking about Jesus around people that you're familiar with, that definitely gives you the confidence to be able to talk to strangers about Jesus.
Was I nervous to share with them? I was very nervous, especially because they were a close friend of mine, and it's almost embarrassing to know that I was their friend for that long, and this was the first time I brought it up. Of course, maybe I've invited them to church or something like that, but they had never, I'd never asked them straightforward. I'd never asked them, hey, are you saved? Do you consider yourself a Christian? Do you think you're going to heaven when you die? Do you know what sin is? Is sin wrong? And so, of course, I was very nervous to ask them. But another thing is, I knew that what I was doing was in the will of God, because in the moment I was not nervous at all. Normally, something I would be very nervous about. I was not. I was a little jittery, but that's with anything. But it just came so smoothly, and I can barely remember what I spoke with them about. So I know that God was speaking through me when I spoke with them.
As far as being nervous to share, whenever he first asked me that question, where did I think that we go when we die? At first I was like, wow, that's a really easy question for me to answer. But at the same time, I was like, well, I don't want to screw this up now that God's given me this opportunity. But I just kind of, took a deep breath and prayed to God that I'd have the right things to say, and went from there. And from there is super easy, and just kind of walked through it with him.
Really just, hey, straight up I would tell somebody, you always know if they don't accept you, you can always turn around and come back to your church family, because at the end of the day, we're always going to accept you. So go out there and try. And if you fail, hey, you have people back here with you. It's not like you're just by yourself afterwards. You can always come back, and you can always talk to others like, hey, what did I do wrong? What could I do better to share my faith? And that's really it. Just know that you have people who are in the same boat as you, who it's a struggle, and y'all struggles can come together to find the best way to share the gospel.